Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Spill the D. My name is Rick, and I'm one of your hosts, joined as always with my lovely co-host Gina. How are you today?
Feeling lovely. How are you?
I'm feeling fantastic. I'm super excited to get into this episode today because we have a lot of news.
Yeah, so I'm a little torn on this episode on if I'm excited or not because my least favorite portion of episodes is the news portion that we do.
This is fun news, though.
But it is very fun news, and it really made me feel good that we waited until this episode to discuss our opinions and thoughts on the announcements from D23.
Yeah.
And we had people messaging us being like, why aren't you talking about this?
Yeah.
So I know that this is a wanted episode, so I'm excited to have this discussion with all of you. And I want to remind you that if you want to have this discussion back with us, we are always down to talk Disney. So find us on social media at Spillity Podcast and message us, talk to us. We will talk. If you disagree with us, let us know why. Because although I do think most of our opinions on what's happening are positive, but we got a few hot takes, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Like Gina said, today we're talking about D23 news. If you haven't heard about it yet, you're either living under a rock or you decided to wait until today to hear us talk about it. And in that case, thank you.
You boycotted social media all last week when D23 was happening, or you just don't follow a single Disney page on social media because every single person was posting about it, and we were doing our best to not join the crowd so that we can make sure everything you hear right now is fresh from our mouths.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard anything, buckle up. If you have heard things, also buckle up because like Gina said, we might have a few hot takes for you today.
Yeah, one thing that we did do, though, to kind of whet everyone's palate. Is that the right
word? Maybe.
It's something your appetite. Like whet your appetite. Is it whet your appetite? I don't know. Give you a taste of it was we went on our story and we rated some of the announcements 0 out of 10 with no context.
Yeah.
So if you hear us referencing that is what we're talking about. If we say, oh yeah, I rated this. So I feel like we're good to just jump right into it.
Yeah. Before
we get started, we do have some news. I'm just kidding.
I was like, what?
Hold on. No, before we get started, though, I will remind you, we are the official podcast of 407 and Beyond Vacation Co. So if you're loving what you're hearing right now and it's making you want to book a trip, if you hear something that we talk about that's coming in 2025 and you're ready to book, make sure to reach out to 407 and Beyond to get that trip booked. They're a Disney and Universal Orlando travel agency, and they book and plan for vacations to Disney and Universal Orlando, as well as so much more. They just had some travel agents in sandals. They booked for there too. So check them out. Go ahead to 407vacations.com to get a free no obligation quote, and their travel agents will take care of everything for you for free. You just got to pay for your own vacation. But they'll do the planning. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's get into it.
We'll hop right in because there's a lot here.
Let's do it.
We're going to have to be smooth sailing. So I'm going to go in the order that I found all the news. So the way that it was coming up on my news feed and everything, and then the ones toward the bottom are ones that I had to actually go look for.
Yeah.
All right, so number 1, we have a Coco ride coming to Disney California Adventure.
I imagine people who are fans of this movie are very excited about this.
Yeah, you don't like Coco, right?
I'm not the biggest fan of the movie. I can appreciate the animation and the music. The storyline to me is not great.
I think the storyline is so cool.
I know. It's such
a great concept.
Different take. Like I feel like people don't expect that as the opinion on it, but I like Dia de los Muertos as a day. I just wasn't the biggest fan of the movie.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I know that you don't love the movie. I didn't realize it was because you don't love the storyline, because I do think the storyline is such a fascinating concept. Which, if you haven't seen Coco, it's a little boy. I don't even know how to explain Dia de los Muertos. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Dia de los Muertos is the Day of the Dead in Hispanic culture, and it's the day that people will not communicate necessarily, but they'll leave gifts for family members who have passed on.
They believe that their ancestors can come back and visit them on that day.
Yeah.
So the concept is that the family members who have passed away come back. Well, in this movie, the kid goes into the world of the dead.
Yeah.
Rather than the dead going into the living world.
Yeah.
It's a cool concept.
It's that part is cool. I didn't like the way that things unfolded family wise.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Without giving anything away. I mean, I know it's an old movie, but for those that haven't seen it yet.
So you're not excited for the ride then?
Not that I'm not excited for the ride, because there's other things that Disney has done where I'm not like overly excited about it, but I had fun. Like, for example, Moana. I like the movie. It's a good movie. It's not one of my favorites, and I was very iffy on how not the Way of Water. What's it called?
Journey of Water.
Journey of Water was going to turn out, and I thought they did a fantastic job with it. So I'm not setting expectations low in the sense of I think this is going to be terrible because I don't like the movie. I can appreciate a good ride for what it is.
You want to know what you'll be doing on the ride?
Yeah.
You will be joining Miguel on a trip to the land of the dead.
And I think I'll be able to appreciate that because I'm able to appreciate the scene that they talk about when they talk about the animation process where it's the whole city.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like, that's like one of the most intricate like animation scenes that Disney's done, and I can appreciate that. And I think that going through the Land of the Dead is going to be something that's pretty cool.
It literally says you'll have to see it to believe it. So I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, movie not my favorite, but I'm always down for a good ride. So.
And I think it does make sense in California Adventure because there is the whole Pixar pier, and Coco's Pixar. Mm-hmm. So it makes complete sense that it would be there.
Yeah, I agree.
So go Disney.
It's a
Big
good one.
fan of this one.
It's a good one.
All right, while we're on Disney California Adventure, they're putting an Avatar Land, a Pandora, in Disney California Adventure that's going to be more focused on the newer movies.
Okay, so where is my question? It doesn't like you said, Coco fits in. Where does Avatar fit in?
That is an excellent question.
That's my only gripe you could say with this.
Disney California Adventure, they have like the pier area, although it is Pixar Pier in San Francisco. So I'm like, oh well, they have it's the water because it's the Way of the Water, right? Is the second Avatar?
Yeah.
So maybe they'll like lean into that.
Maybe.
I don't.
I think it's a little forced, and I think they'll do fine with it. I think
it's gonna be great.
I think it'll be great if it's anything like the one in Disney World, but I just don't know if it necessarily fits in. Almost how I feel about another one that we're gonna get into in a little bit.
I was gonna say something that I think is gonna be a common theme based off of the other announcements is the statement of I think it's gonna be awesome, but I think it's forced or doesn't belong where they're putting it.
Yeah.
Which they could completely prove us wrong on that. We also have not been to California Adventure yet. We go in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll change our mind when we actually get there and see the layout rather than just what we know from the different videos we watch, from looking at the map, especially getting ready to go.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll change our mind then, but from what I know, I don't really see where it would fit, but I also don't see it being disappointing because it's so amazing in Animal Kingdom that and it's going to be 10 years newer. Like it can only get better.
Yeah, you would think.
So we'll see what happens with that one. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah, I think we have one more California Adventure announcement, right?
Yes, we do actually. It wasn't next, but I'll go next. All right, so Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure is going to double in size because they are adding 2 more rides. There will be a Thanos-themed ride called Avengers Infinity Defense, and they will also have a ride called Stark Fight Lab.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 excited for this one?
It might be a biased opinion, but I'm so excited. Like you said, we haven't seen Avengers Campus in California, but we saw Avengers Campus in Paris, and it was awesome. And that was really small, in my opinion.
So my thought on Avengers Campus in Paris, and I believe it is very similar in size to the one in California. My thought on it was, I'm not going to lie, it was really cool, but I was underwhelmed because my brain had it as being this giant thing. And then we got there and it was like an alley. Like it was so small. So I'm actually really excited to hear that they're going to be doubling the size of it because I know it's roughly similar in size. I could be totally wrong, but I'm 99% sure from the research I've done on both to prep for these trips that they are very similar in size. So the fact that it's going to be doubling, I think, is a phenomenal concept. And the fact that these are the rides they're putting there, great idea.
great rides, great job doubling the size. I still think it's a miss though, and I get that they don't have all the IP, but in my dream world, what they do is they just add a whole new superhero park, and it's laid out exactly like Tony's dad had Stark Expo laid out.
So Epcot.
Kinda, yeah, but like all Marvel and superheroes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Wait, the Stark Expo or the board that becomes a
That's
new...
the Stark Expo.
Oh,
That's
okay,
how the
okay.
Stark Expo is laid out.
Okay,
The one that
gotcha.
he uses to
Yeah.
find the new element.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It would be really cool if they did that, but
It would be, but at this point, they're already so deep into what they have. So,
but I am glad to hear that it's going to be doubling in size because I agree the Paris one was a little underwhelming size wise. So to hear that it's going to be double that size at some point is nice.
yeah, with what it had, it wasn't underwhelming, but the size of it was underwhelming.
The diner.
That diner was good. That diner was definitely something that was like already there, and they just left it there.
I hope they have shawarma in California. If anybody knows if they have shawarma in California, let me know.
Yeah, it was a really pleasant surprise that there was shawarma in Disneyland Paris. It was really good.
It was really good.
Okay, are we ready to switch coast?
Let's do it.
Let me double check that there's nothing left here. Oh, we got a few more things. Let's stay on the West Coast for a few
we'll stay
more.
with California Adventure.
All right, so this one, we've just been waiting for this announcement. Tiana's Bayou Adventure is opening November 15th.
Makes sense. They like to keep the parks somewhat similar.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be opening soon. It'll be good to kind of alleviate the Christmas crowds a little bit as well. So that's it on that one. Yeah. That's all we got for there. Mm-hmm. We've been waiting on that one. They had the Tiana's restaurant open there, so gonna just kind of complete the land. Yeah. Do I wish it was opening by the time we were there? Absolutely. But we'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's 2 more pieces of Disneyland news that we're gonna share today.
All right.
I want to start with the one that I think I'm more excited for, and then we'll go into the one that I'm a little judgy on.
Okay, let's hear it.
So the one that I'm more excited for, they are making a Walt Disney audio animatronic, and they're putting it in Disneyland, and it's going to go in the Main Street Opera House in rotation with great moments with Mr. Lincoln.
So I guess they'll have like rotating show times?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe that's from the way the announcement, that is how I understood it.
Walt Disney and Abe Lincoln, 2 very influential people.
I would say so.
I don't know how to feel about this because I don't necessarily love the ones at Disney World where you sit there and listen to someone talk. But I feel like it might be different because it's Walt, so I don't know.
I think it's going to be really cool. They had, when we went to the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia for the Disney Archives exhibit that they were doing, they had a Walt Disney holograph.
Yeah.
Like as much of a
hologram,
as much of a hologram as you can have in 2024. We're not fully there yet, obviously. At least not at the Franklin Institute. So they had that, and it was really cool because it was like you were listening to him talk like he was there. So I think that it will be a very cool thing to see. I don't think it's something that after the first few weeks is going to bring in crazy lines.
No.
But I do think it will kind of revamp that area, and I do think that it will be something people will want to see, especially like part of the reason I want to go to Disneyland so bad is my love of Disney history and my love of just that, like, here's why Walt did these things and just Walt Disney's brain. So I think getting to see that is just going to be like a cherry on top of walking down Main Street and thinking like Walt was here. Like now I'm going to go see Walt. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, now here's the one that I'm kind of just makes me laugh.
Can't stop, won't stop.
They cannot stop. Disneyland will be celebrating its 70th anniversary. Big celebration kicking off next year.
Why 70? You know, like just wait 5 more years for 75.
I get why they're doing it, but it's just so funny because it just feels like they just keep doing these celebrations to just bring people in.
Yeah, well, it's more merch. It brings people in. Like it's a money-making machine for them.
It really is. Oh, if we hang up these few things and put a 70 on a Loungefly, people will buy it.
Will buy it.
It's me. I'm people. The amount of 50th stuff that I had. I actually had to stop myself because I was like, this is not going to mean anything for like 20 years. And then it'll be vintage. But for like 20 years, it's going to be like, oh, her shirt's old. Yeah. But no, it's going to be the 70th anniversary celebration. I do think it's a fun anniversary to celebrate, but it does make me laugh that the celebrations haven't stopped over the last few years.
Back to back to back.
Anything for a party.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for Disneyland.
All right.
We did kind of go quickly through that. Maybe this episode won't be as scary long as I thought.
There's a lot more to unpack with Disney World, I feel like.
There is. Okay, so I only have... Let's go with this one first because I'm so excited about it. Disney is having a Starlight Parade come to
Ooh.
Magic Kingdom in 2025. This parade looks phenomenal already. It is lit up, it is beautiful, and I am so excited for it. It is going to be a nighttime parade returning to Magic Kingdom.
Sounds good to me.
I know. I really missed the Main Street Electrical Parade, so I'm very excited for the Starlight Parade.
Do you think it's going to be like the Main Street Electrical Parade, or do you think it's going to be like the daytime parade just at night?
No, based off the photos, they do plan on adding a lot of light to it and really lighting up Main Street with it. So
Okay.
I'm really counting on it being kind of similar to the electrical parade in that aspect. Like, I'm hoping that like the lights will dim and the lights you see will be from the parade.
Is there any word of a drone show?
No, but there's the one at Disney Springs.
Yeah, true.
So they already have a drone show. They can do fireworks there, like big fireworks.
Yeah,
so they don't really
that's
need a
fair.
drone show. Because as we learned from Disneyland Paris, they don't do real fireworks, but they do a drone show.
Sometimes. If it's not a little windy.
Also, we haven't shared this, but this episode is all going to be the U.S. parks.
Yes.
We didn't say that, but it's just U.S. parks for this episode.
Mhm.
If you guys want a second episode with Around the World, we can do that. But for us right now, it's just U.S.
Yeah.
Now, I think this is going to be really exciting. I think it's very much a do. It is going to keep the crowds there a little bit later, although sometimes I feel like it makes people just like sit and wait and then leave. So it could actually help get people out as well. As someone who likes to stay to the last second and ride rides, I'm like trying to think like that. Like, will people be there late? I'm just very excited. I think it's going to be a really nice addition and something great to have at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice.
Where would you like to go next?
I mean, we could start with. There's two things on here I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to get to them. But I'll follow your lead, whichever one you want to talk about next.
We can go one park at a time.
Okay.
What park do you want to start with? Well, we'll turn that we didn't just do a Magic Kingdom one. Pick 1 to 4. Which one do you want to do?
Let's start Epcot.
Epcot? Okay. I'm down for that. I have nothing on this list from Epcot.
There was one, wasn't there?
Oh, yes. Okay. I was like, there's nothing.
I'm pretty sure there's a
Epcot just had a lot of construction over the past few years. I think they're fine. No, we do have one. So there's going to be 2 new lounges debuting, one of which will be at Epcot. It's going to be a Spaceship Earth lounge.
It's exciting. In
Yeah.
Spaceship Earth, right?
So they didn't really clarify if it's in it, under it, next to it, like
Yeah.
what exactly is going on with it. They just said a Spaceship Earth lounge in Epcot. So I actually can't give you an answer on that, but it's very much Spaceship Earth themed. They have like the orbs hanging from the ceiling, lots of like neutral tones, very classy looking lounge. It actually kind of reminds me of the Top of the World lounge. It kind of reminds me of like the lounge at California Grill.
No, you know what this is?
What?
This is Space 220. They just redid Space 220. I mean, that doesn't look exactly like it.
It does look a lot like Space 220, but I don't think it is Space 220.
Space 220 flopped so hard that they just decided to make a lounge. That'd be really funny.
Oh, it didn't really flop, though. Just in our opinion. It literally does not say. I'll read you word for word. It says, for over 40 years, Spaceship Earth has welcomed visitors to Epcot as a shining beacon of optimism and hope. This just announced lounge is inspired by the stories, shapes, and enduring legacy of this timeless icon. Taking inspiration from the geometric sphere, the Zen space to gather and enjoy refreshments will be draped with rich textures and warm metallic tones, giving it a mysterious and elegant intimacy.
Where are they going to put it, though?
I'm trying to tell by the photos. It gives the illusion that it is in Spaceship
Like
Earth.
the end of the ride, maybe? When they have all that stuff downstairs, maybe they're just gonna like block
That's
some of
the
that off?
exit. I don't know. It's giving the illusion that it's in Spaceship Earth, but that doesn't really make sense
No.
because it's also windows.
Yeah. Unless those are projection screens like they do have in Space 220.
Unless it's over. So the original buildings, when they were building them for Connections Cafe and stuff like that, were supposed to be like 3 stories.
Huh.
And they didn't do that, so I'm wondering if they're going to build on top of them.
Maybe.
Because it does look elevated. It looks like you're looking down at the park.
Yeah.
But you can very clearly see like Journey into Imagination. But you can also see fireworks outside. which would mean that it's also looking over at the World Showcase.
I mean, it would have to be pretty high.
But it just says inspired by Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, so maybe they're making a whole new building.
I don't know.
Huh. Curious to see how that goes.
Curious to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Welcoming their first guest in 2025. And it says plans are drawn, dirt is moving.
Huh. Wonder where the dirt is moving.
I don't know.
I can't picture anywhere that this.
It's got to be on top of one of the buildings.
Potential thing. Well, then the dirt wouldn't be moving.
I have no idea. They
Unless
did
they're
make
just
it
using
very
that as a
clear that
metaphor.
literally everything that they announced at D23 this year is happening. Because last year at Destination D23, they did a bunch of what they referred to as blue sky ideas. And it was, here's things we really want to do. And that was it.
Yeah.
Not here's things that are being done. So this year it was, if we are telling you this, it's because it is happening. Which is like kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing. All right, pick the next park.
Animal Kingdom.
Okay, here's where we have a lot. So that was a good pick.
Yeah. A lot going on.
Yes. So,
Rest in peace, Dinoland.
R.I.P. I will go into that. So, Tropical Americas, the new land of Disney's Animal Kingdom. They're officially calling it Pueblo Esperanza, and it's going to have a new carousel and a few other rides. An Indiana Jones section. The Indiana Jones ride is actually, they said, going to be a one-of-a-kind Indiana Jones experience like we haven't experienced before. So they're not just putting Indiana Jones from California into Dinosaur, but that it will be where Dinosaur currently is.
I think it's going to be trackless.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to get chased by the ball?
Probably at some point. It's like the most iconic part of Indiana Jones.
You think? I think the part where he puts a sandbag and takes the thing out. That's like, oh no, the hat. He never loses his hat.
Yeah, but I feel like if you were to put all three of those things in front of someone who's never seen Indiana Jones, they'd be like, oh yeah, I've seen someone get chased by a boulder before.
I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder. Sorry, wrong park. Alright, so how do you feel about this one?
I don't know how I feel about this one. The land as a whole, I think the idea is kind of cool. Especially because they have a lot of movies that fit into the theme of tropical Americas recently. So I think there's a lot of room for them to potentially grow this section of the park beyond what they were able to do with Dino Land, because all they had for Dino Land was Dinosaur, and then that was it.
The good dinosaur, but it didn't really do great, so they didn't use it at all.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas there's plenty of movies that they can base off of here, and Indiana Jones is like a cult classic, so that's always going to be there whether you think it's a good movie or not. Like, it's always going to be something that there's a group of people that enjoy it. And what else is going there again?
So there's going to be, Indiana Jones is going to be kind of back in the corner where Dinosaur is, and then in the main area there's going to be a carousel, which I think is nice because that's going to be replacing the dinosaur.
The Triceratops spin.
Yes, thank you. I was like, what is the name of it? So if you haven't been back there, it's very similar to Dumbo.
Yeah.
So it's kind of taking out one family kid ride and putting in another.
Yeah.
There's also, I'm curious to see if they're going to do anything to replace the dig site. Because right now there's the dig site and a full playground area where kids can just run around. And that's like, parents love that kind of stuff, especially when like that where it's one way in, one way out, like that, just to feel comfortable with your kid running around like that. So hopefully they come up with something to put there that's similar to that to still give kids the opportunity to run around and blow off steam. And also it keeps people in the park longer when they don't feel like their kid is like not doing anything or stuck. It also can get them out sooner because they get tired out. So it's kind of catch-22 there, but it's just something that I hope that they replace with something similar or similar concept. And then the other thing that is going to be there that they also announced is an Encanto themed area.
That's what it was.
Including a ride that, based off the photos, looks like a boat ride. And I think the way that they're kind of going to work it in, my guess is going to be a good amount of it's going to be in Antonio's room. Because Antonio's the one who can talk to animals.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they show when you look at the concept art. It definitely is. It's the Casa Madrigal, and they show his room.
I still think that at the dig site they should make it the multiple levels of Zootopia.
Would that work with Tropical Americas?
The rainforest.
That's true. They could make a
The
rainforest
scene where
play
they're getting
area.
chased by the what is it, a panther or a jaguar or whatever they're
Hmm.
getting chased by. They could make it just a forest like that and have Zootopia characters in there.
Yeah, this is true. This is
Because then you
very
also
true.
have all of the bridges, the rope ladders, stuff like that. All that fits into it. So
Yeah, no,
you
I
could do that.
agree. They also could have done a play area with Antonio's room.
True.
Because it looks like Casita is going to be a prominent thing in this area.
Yeah.
Like, you will see the house from Encanto.
Yeah.
And you will get to go on a ride with Encanto.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see what they actually do with it. I think
Yeah.
Encanto was a really big hit, so it's a definitely...
I think it's a good include.
The thing is, with this one, I'm so sad to see Dinerland go. I love Dinerland. I love the concept. I love it at Christmas. The music and the lights and everything just make me so happy. But this is gonna be really cool.
It's gonna be, yeah.
Like, this is going to be a great section. And realistically, if you think about the theming of Animal Kingdom, you do have the different areas. So you have Asia, you have Africa, and now we're adding in tropical Americas.
I think the music's gonna be just as good, if not better.
Probably gonna use a lot of the like show music, like movie music.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. Which, yeah, the music is good. I wonder if they could kind of put like a Animal Kingdom spin onto the movie music.
Maybe. I'm sure
Like
they'll
the way
find a
that they usually do, kind of. I don't know.
I'm sure they'll find a way.
They don't do things like this without a plan.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be cool.
I'm sad. I really am sad, but I'm excited
It's gonna be very colorful too, because
It is.
Encanto is a very colorful movie.
Just tropical Americas
That's
in
good.
general. When you hear that, I think like bright colors, amazing, good vibes. Very similar to Dinoland. How bright and colorful Dinoland is. I don't think that aesthetically it's going to be that big of a jump, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, not what's there physically, but like if you were to like put the color palettes on paper, like, and look at them, like, I think they're gonna be kind of similar, maybe a little less. I don't know.
I think so too, because like you said, it's very bright for the rest of the park, and then or for the rest of the area, and then Dinosaur itself is very dark, and Indiana Jones is very dark. So I think it's gonna be
It's gonna mirror
a
it.
pretty easy transition.
I think it's gonna mirror it a
Yeah.
lot. It's gonna mirror what we already have there.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I'm
Mhm.
excited for it. I am. I hate to admit it because I am a Dinoland stan. Can't tell by my Dinoland Mickey. If you're watching on YouTube, check it out. He's sitting with us now. Okay, I think there's only one more thing for Animal Kingdom.
Let's hear it.
And this one's real soon.
I'm excited about this one.
Are you? Do you
Yeah.
even know what I'm going to say?
I
You
do,
say
yeah.
it. Go ahead.
I don't know exactly how to word it. Okay, so this one I'm actually really excited about, and I've been very vocal before about it. So there will be a new attraction, I guess you'll call it, Zootopia Better Zoogether, which opens next winter. And this is, for those that don't know, this is replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug in the Tree of Life.
And you're excited about it?
I am excited about it. I
Me
don't mind.
too.
I don't mind A Bug's Life. It's a good movie, but I think Zootopia is a better movie, and they also have the second one coming out now, so
Mhm.
it kind of fits perfect.
Yeah, I agree. And I do think that this is again a situation where what they're replacing it with still fits.
Yeah.
It fits in the area. It's more updated for the time. It's more
Mhm.
updated for the kids who are in the generation that's going to be
Yeah.
going and wanting to watch it. And like, when you think about it, these things are there for years. They're not changing this for 5 years. This is probably going to be the next 20 to 30 years until something else comes along that they want to change it.
Definitely.
And their kids who are 5 years old right now are going to be sitting there on their podcast in 20 to 30 years, and they're going to go, oh, I love Zootopia. I grew up with it, but what they're changing it to makes sense. Just like how we are with A Bug's Life. I love A Bug's Life. I grew up with it, but what they're changing it to makes sense.
And it's still good.
And it's still good. It's still going to be good. Kids are going to love it. I'm going to love it.
Mhm.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. I would say overall, I think Animal Kingdom has the highest overall rating for me as far as upgrades that are being made.
I agree. They all fit.
Yeah. It
It
all
makes
just makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. They're more like Upgrading is a good word for it because they're not just refurbishing, they're not just retheming, they're putting it with the times, but they're still keeping the magic that is there in Animal Kingdom and still making it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it's kind of even making more sense for some of them.
Yeah.
So, guess we'll see what happens.
Good job on Animal Kingdom.
Yes. Good job on that one. One of the best parks. So. All right, let's go to Hollywood Studios. We'll save my hottest take for last. So we'll go to Hollywood Studios for the next one. We got two things here.
Okay.
Which one you want to learn about first?
Let's go with the Millennium Falcon.
Okay, so we actually called this one a while ago. I'm pretty sure we said it on the podcast.
Probably.
I remember saying it to you, at least, that I think that Millennium Falcon can do what Star Tours does and change the story around.
Yep, and they are.
They are. They're adding another story to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Just one more for now. So now Mondo and Grogu will jump to Lightspeed in a brand new adventure coming to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
I'm curious to see... I'm excited because we're not Star Wars people, as we've mentioned multiple times on this podcast before. So I have no idea what the storyline could potentially be. And I think that makes it more exciting because the first time we rode Millennium Falcon, I got you ever get butterflies in your stomach when you're doing something for the first time?
Only when I'm talking to you.
Okay. Anyway.
That was good, right?
Romantic. When you're doing something for the first time, you get those weird nervous butterflies, even if you're not nervous. Might just be me. I don't know.
No,
but
it makes sense.
I love that feeling, and I'm probably gonna get that when we go on this again, and I get the new storyline. So I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. And I hope that this is something that keeps going as time moves on, that they keep adding more and more storylines, because it's something that works so well for Star Tours, and it keeps people wanting more, and it keeps people coming back with this ride that has been there for so many years.
Yeah, well, the good news is there's so much Star Wars content to go through that they won't run out of ideas if they decide they want to keep doing it.
Yeah, no, they'll be totally fine.
Plenty of Star Wars IP.
Yes.
So,
okay.
I think this is a good one.
I think this one is a good one too, and I think it's going to be very entertaining, and I'm really excited for it. I love Millennium Falcon. My hot take on this one is that it's a better ride than Rise of the Resistance.
I like the interactiveness of it.
Of Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
Me too. I think that Rise of the Resistance is a better ride if you're a Star Wars fan, but if you don't know anything, Smuggler's Run is better.
Yeah.
Okay, now a really excited one for Hollywood Studios. We are excited. I am excited. Are you excited? We are excited.
We are excited.
We are excited. So, they are building a full Monsters, Inc. land at Hollywood Studios, complete with a hanging roller coaster where you will be in the door room from Monsters, Inc.
I'm so curious to see how this land is going to be portrayed. If you're going to be at Monsters University when you walk into it? Or are you going to be in the city?
You're going to be outside of the main building where they work.
Okay, gotcha.
So the building that they work in the first one.
So that's what you walk into?
That's
when you walk into the land?
You're going to walk into almost a courtyard area. My best way that I can describe it right now to paint you a word picture is think about the clock tower in Back to the Future.
Okay.
Where the clock tower is the main building.
Okay.
And then there's another building on the side, and then there's actually, in the concept art, which is never set in stone, we know this, but in the concept art, there's a playground on the other side.
Okay.
And a big grass courtyardy area in the middle.
Okay.
Did I paint you a good word picture?
I'm sure everybody else got a great picture in their mind, but I'm not that imaginative.
Yeah, I know, your brain can't really do that. Here you go.
All right, that's pretty cool.
I just showed him a picture. And did I describe it perfectly?
Yeah, I think you did a good job.
Thank you. Thank you. So the hot topic right now online is not about how great this coaster is going to be, which I think is going to be amazing. It's going to be Disney's first hanging roller coaster.
Yeah.
Which, if you all know what that is, it's when you sit and your feet hang from the roller coaster.
Yeah.
The hot take is the hot topic is where it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my opinion of where I think it's going, and I'm optimistic that I'm right.
I think we have the same opinion, and I think it's the best place for it.
So my thought is, everyone keeps saying Animation Courtyard or Muppet Courtyard. I think the people saying Animation Courtyard are closer to being correct. I think the entrance, they could either get rid of Animation Courtyard and put it there. But also, they just redid the Ariel Little Mermaid show, so, like, why would they do that? Also, the Playhouse Disney Junior play area is kind of a hit with that show. So, my thought is, when you walk down towards Toy Story Land, if you were to go straight, you're seeing Pixar Place, where you can meet, like, the Incredibles. They'll have Mike and Sully there randomly. If you turn right, now you're looking at Toy Story Land. If you turn immediately right, where One Man's Dream is on your right, behind One Man's Dream is an old animation building. And that they don't use anymore. It's from when the park used to actually have movies made in it. They made Lilo and Stitch in that animation building.
Yeah.
They don't use it anymore. It's now a cast member area. And if you look at it on the map, it looks like there is plenty of space back there that they can take the cast member area, push it back, and make right there an entrance into this whole new Monsters Inc. land. And this would lead to the same spot as where Animation Courtyard would be. I'm just saying, I think the entrance would be over on that side.
The main entrance would be on the side.
Yes, because then it would kind of...
Because they would have to connect it to Animation Courtyard.
So my thought would be, if Animation Courtyard stayed there, and you went in from that side entrance rather than from straight on, which would be like if you went through Animation Courtyard, it would kind of give the illusion that you're in a whole new land, more than just walking straight into it from Animation Courtyard to be. Because if they got rid of Animation Courtyard and you walked into that, you would turn to the right and still see Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
If they did this, you would be walking around and behind it, and they could set it up that when you turn, you see the back of the Animation Courtyard buildings, which they could theme into this land.
Yeah.
And they could kind of block you with trees and sight lines and whatever they need to do so that you're not seeing Tower of Terror, that you're not seeing the Rock and Roller Coaster building. Like, all of these things can be hidden better, especially with these big rides that they have planned.
Yeah.
So that's where I think it's going. I think the entrance is going to be on that little side area, and it's going to kind of be like a little walkway to this Monsters Inc. land, because I feel like aesthetically that would make the most sense. It also puts the entrance into this Pixar area where they already have the Incredibles, they have Toy Story. Now all of the Pixar things come back to one central area. And if anyone needs a little bit more of a description, right now there's a DVC sales booth there where I'm talking about. So that would be gone or moved. So if you can picture where the DVC booth is in One Man's Dream, right when you turn the corner, it'd be right behind that.
Makes sense.
And it wouldn't disrupt anything with construction.
True.
They can do the construction on it without having to shut down anything at all. Yeah. And it would make the theming perfect. People keep saying they think it's going where the Muppets are going. It doesn't make sense to me.
No. I don't see it.
I don't know why they would do that. But as we know from another piece of news we have coming up, they do things sometimes that don't make sense. So, or that kind of makes sense, but not really. So, like, it could work space-wise. Actually, I don't even know if it would work space-wise.
Yeah, I don't know what the rest of the area looks like behind it.
And, like, Mama Melrose, guys, it's secretly good. It's a little hidden gem in the Christmas store. Come on. Plus Muppet Vision 3D.
Yeah, Muppet Vision 3D is great.
So I don't know. That's where I think it's going. I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
Is that where you think?
I think that's the most logical place.
Okay.
I think if anything, I would put it, anything else, I would put it over where the Disney Junior stuff is.
That would be Animation Courtyard.
Yeah.
That would be an entrance from that side rather than... Yeah. So kind of the same thing I'm saying. I just think that they should...
have like an archway that you walk through, so I figured...
Yeah. No, in my imagination, you're still walking through the archway, but then you're, like, turning and going around. But I see what you're saying. Which, I wonder, though, if they did it the way that I'm saying, they could always put, like, a back entrance into it from there.
I would think they would have at least two entrances. Like, Galaxy's Edge has the one for Toy Story, and it also has the other one.
Yeah, but if there's anything we know about Hollywood studios, that sometimes they just stick you right back, down and back. Yeah. Look at Tower of Terror. You walk down Sunset Boulevard, you gotta turn around and come right back the same way. So,
guess we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we will. I'm excited to find out where they're gonna put it.
Yeah.
Because there are things like the new Cars area at Magic Kingdom that I'm not that excited to find out where they put it.
I don't like it.
No?
No.
Talk to me. Tell me why.
I don't think it fits. The only thing in my mind that I can think of that even comes relatively close to it fitting in Frontierland is the fact that there's orange rocks. That's it. Like, I can't think of anything else that ties it into Frontierland.
Would Route 66 be like Frontierland? Is that the same states that we're talking?
No, I don't think so.
It might be. Route 66 is pretty long.
But where does Route 66 fit into Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Big Thunder Mountain?
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't. The
So-
only thing I can think of is if they decided to do like Route 66 like bridge maybe over to Tom Sawyer Island and redo that as.
Have you not seen exactly where it's going yet?
No.
Oh, they announced it. I thought you knew.
No, I had no idea.
Okay, so listeners, so Cars Land has been announced. They're putting a full Cars area
Yeah, I knew
in
that.
Frontierland and Magic Kingdom with 2 new attractions, okay?
Okay.
They're getting rid of Tom Sawyer Island and the Rivers of America. So it's just all going to be land there. They're like the riverboat, that's going to
it's
be
all
gone.
gone, okay.
That's all going to be gone. It's getting plopped right there. So the left side of the street in Frontierland, if you're walking down the road
Yeah.
where Country Bear Jamboree is, that's all still going to be there. But when you look across the street, it's going to be a full Cars area.
Okay, so basically I'm an Imagineer because I didn't know that and that was what I came up with.
Yeah, you were kind of explaining that. That's really funny. So what do you think? Now that you know where it's going, because now that I know where it's going is why I'm not a fan.
I still don't think it blends.
I don't either.
Because then immediately next to it you have the Haunted Mansion, which it's not even close to.
I'm sure that they'll separate it from the Haunted Mansion somehow, because the Haunted Mansion is technically Liberty Square.
The good news is they have a lot of room to work with.
Yes.
Because if you've ever taken the riverboat, it's a pretty long ride,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of land back there that they can work with.
Oh yeah. Well, they're also going to be putting Villains Land back there.
Yeah.
That's going behind Big Thunder.
Yeah.
So that's part of that too. But as far as the Cars Land goes, I think that it's so successful at Disneyland, and that's partially why they want it there. My opinion on it is it's going to be really great. Again, it's one of those things where, like, I don't think they picked the right spot for it, but I do think what they put there is going to be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great for kids love cars. They
Yeah.
do. It's a great movie. Kids love it.
I love cars.
Feels a little forced to me. Besides Cavalcades, the only other Pixar thing in Magic Kingdom is the Monsters Inc. laugh floor.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else isn't really Pixar, so it feels like a weird thing to put there.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of out of place
Yeah,
to
just
me.
thrown in there, kind of.
Also, Frontierland is like horse and buggy generation time, and this is
Yeah.
Cars, so like that also throws me off. I just feel like it's being forced there, and it's just to get people in. And my brother actually made a really good point with this one. He said that part of Disney, like, there are people like us who love the Disney throw up on you feeling, like when we're at the hotels and things like that. But there are some people who really don't love Disney, but they go with their family and they're willing to come back again and again because they get there and they realize that it's not as intense as what they're thinking. It's
Yeah.
more just these beautifully themed lands. And because they keep using their IP in place of the creative ideas that they had before, it might ruin it for those people, for the
Yeah.
guests that they have who are interested in coming back because it's a themed land, not a Disney ride, Disney movie. So I get what he's saying with that too. I don't know. It feels really forced in this area to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for using the IP. They work really hard on their movies. Why
Yeah.
not put them into the parks? But also, like,
Doesn't fit there to me.
yeah, I feel like it needs to feel right. And I don't know how it got through so many people and they were like, yes, this feels right. Maybe once we see more concept art, maybe
Yeah.
we need some more in-depth concept art. But from what I've seen, it looks cool, but it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, in my mind, the only way that it even comes close to not looking weird is once they make it all land, they just put a giant tree line all the way along where the riverboat starts,
I think they would.
and it just completely separates Frontierland from
Liberty Square.
Liberty Square.
I think they're gonna have
I
to.
think that's the only way that it even comes close to fitting.
They're going to have to because it's going to have to be separated from Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Because Haunted Mansion is Liberty Square.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way that it works is if they have a giant tree line that blocks it.
Or it'll be like a tree line from the Liberty Square side, but like the rocks from the Haunted Mansion, I mean from the Frontierland side.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see exactly how they're going to do that. But yeah, so because of that, Tom Sawyer Island will be going, as well as the riverboat and the Rivers of America will be gone.
Sayonara.
Yeah, they will be missed. They will. They're underrated areas at Magic Kingdom. Great areas to blow off steam, take a break, or run around and go hunting in caves.
Yep.
So they will be missed. But 2 new attractions will be amazing. In addition to that, we are also getting a Pirates of the Caribbean themed tavern at Magic Kingdom. This is where, go ahead.
This is one of my favorite pieces of news that we've gotten the entire time.
Yeah?
I love Pirates.
I know.
It's such a good movie franchise. And I mean, the idea of just pirates in general is fascinating to me. I know they were terrible people, but like...
Not the way Disney portrays them now.
Not the way Disney portrays them. But like, I just think the Pirates movies are so good, and I love Adventureland anyway, and the fact that I can now go on Pirates and then get off Pirates and go right to a Pirates-themed tavern sounds amazing to me.
I agree.
I'm so excited.
This is a great concept that I wish they would have done sooner, honestly.
I wish they would have too. I'm so excited for this, and I can't wait.
I'll be interested to see exactly how they do it, because Magic Kingdom only has alcohol at sit-down restaurants. So it makes me wonder if it's going to be, they're calling it a tavern, but you're going to need a reservation.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to sit there with your drink, or if they're going to make it like an actual bar. I'm very interested to see how they're going to go with it, but I don't think they could go wrong with it. I really don't.
No, if you nail the theming, you don't even necessarily need alcoholic drinks. I would love it if they would have rum there.
Lots of rum.
I would love it, but if they don't, and the theming is just awesome, that's fine too.
There's so many spots it could go to. There's plenty of space in Adventureland. If you think about like maybe like some dead space areas, as well as if my thought is that they're going to get rid of Tortuga Tavern.
That's what I was thinking.
It's not very popular anyway. It's a quick service location, so like, would it be the craziest thing if they got rid of it? And it's immediately across from Pirates of the Caribbean. So I mean, it also makes sense in that aspect.
Plenty of room in there.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be.
That's where I think they're gonna put it. But
it's gonna be good.
I'm so excited for this one.
It's gonna be good. You know what else is gonna be good?
The second best piece of news.
Our last piece of news.
The one I think most people are really excited about, as long as it gets done right.
Yes, so this is the one that I confused a lot of people on social media when I said that I gave this one a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
What did you give it
I think you gave it like an 8.
I thought you gave it a 10 or a 9.
I might have. I don't know. I'm very high on this.
Yes, so this one is a villains themed land is coming to Magic Kingdom.
Very exciting.
I am also very excited.
I get why you gave it a 5, which you can obviously tell everybody about. But I'll take what I can get.
So here's my thought on the villains themed land. This is my fault that I did this to myself. I do need to say that. I like how I'm wearing my Loki shirt today. I did this to myself. Last year at D23, everything they said was like a blue sky idea. Like it was like this could happen. And they mentioned the villains land. So like this wasn't new information. And I thought, wow. I know they said they're going to put it in Magic Kingdom, but I just have this feeling that they're going to open up a 5th park for the 55th year, which means it would open in 2028.
Yeah.
5th park for the 55th year. It's going to be a smaller park, but it's going to be the villains theme park that people have been... It's going to be big. But it's going to be the villains park that people have been asking for years. And that's why they announced it as, look, it's going in Magic Kingdom, to kind of throw people off the scent. No, it's going to Magic Kingdom. But I had myself convinced. I was like, 5th park, 55th year. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. And they have definitely no shortage of IP to make an entire park out of.
An entire park.
Like, they definitely don't have a shortage of that. But I guess they just thought this was more worth it. I don't know.
It would have been so cool. And actually, to quote my sister-in-law on this one, she said, I love it, but they're turning Magic Kingdom into a 3-day park. She said there's just too much, especially if you have kids. Like, it's just too much. And they could have made this. People would have been fine if it was like a smaller park, but it was still a villains park.
Yeah.
And it's my fault. I got myself excited and then they didn't do it. It's totally my fault. But I'm so excited for what it's going to be, though. I
Yeah.
do think that what it's going to be is going to be amazing. Again, I'm kind of back to but does it fit? Because they're putting it behind Frontierland. I think
Yeah.
it would fit perfectly behind Fantasyland, but whatever. We'll take what we can get. It's going to be really cool.
I think it would be really cool if the entrance to Villains Land. I'm getting my hopes up like I did for Not So Scary, and it's probably an issue. But I think it would be really cool if the way that you got there was like you walked through like a dark like wooded area with a bunch of like dead trees and stuff.
Oh, like the trees in Snow White?
Yeah, and like that's how
Yeah.
you got there, and then when you walked in, it was just a whole different vibe than the rest of the park.
That's how I'm expecting it to be that.
Yeah.
The concept art has it dark.
Yeah, and I really hope that it's like that
Which is
because
why it could have been its own park.
see, I think actually part of the issue is it would have done so well that they would have had to come up with a whole new way of making sure that they don't have too many people in the park because I
Like,
think this is something that
capacity.
I think this is something that so many people if they made a new land about it like the hype that people had over the Star Wars hotel like when that first came out before we heard about prices and stuff like that like
Yeah.
if they were like we're building a fifth park and it's villains they would probably like have no working computers because everything would crash because everybody would be trying to book their vacation for whenever they thought it was going to open.
For the 55th year. 2028.
Like I think that's part of the reason why they didn't and they know that Magic Kingdom is always packed anyway so they're like, yeah, just throw it in there.
Wait a minute. It's not 2028. That's not the 55th year.
What is it?
It opened in 1971. So the 55th year would be 26. 2 years. They could build a park in 2 years.
If they really wanted to.
Plus, they would have already been working on it, so.
But yeah, I think that's part of the reason why they didn't do a full park. Also, it is probably a lot of money to do a full park.
Oh,
But-
yeah. It definitely is. But, like, would have been so cool. Imagine the Maleficent Castle as the main focal point.
Yeah, it would have been so awesome.
Imagine the Halloween party. This is Mickey's very scary Halloween
That would have
party.
been the most. That would have been the most expensive party of all time.
It would have been.
And I would have paid
so
every
cool,
penny
though.
they asked for.
Like they do, like the villains after hours in Magic Kingdom. Remember when they would do
It would have
those?
been
Imagine
that
a
times
villains after hours in the villains
yes,
park.
that's what I was expecting from Not So Scary.
Yeah, I can't imagine how cool that section is going to be during Not So Scary.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a cool area, and
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it. Like, my excitement level is a 10 out of 10. The 5 out of 10 was just because I overhyped it in my own brain.
Let me ask you this one last thing. There's a lot of things cycling around about people saying that Disney needs to finally make their ride.
Kronk and Yzma. Is that who you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Do you feel like it fits?
Yes. They are villains.
Do you feel like it's going to go here? Do you feel like they're finally going to do it?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I'm going to call them lazy if they do. Because people have asked for that door ride since Monsters Inc. came out,
Uh-huh.
and now all of a sudden they're doing it. So
They
if-
wait just long enough that people forget
Yeah.
about it.
So
They're
if
like,
they all
we had a great idea.
Yeah, if they all of a sudden pull that out, then I'm gonna pull the "you're lazy" card. Because to me,
Okay.
that's it's like it's lazy, but it is giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
But like also like, come on.
Okay, let me ask you this now that I thought of another question. What is one villain that you want to have a ride in this new Villains Land?
Hades.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Where you're in the boat with the souls.
I don't know what I want from it, but I just feel like between the evil, you're in the underworld, and his sense of humor, the mix of the two, I think, could be a really good ride.
Could be a good one.
Give me some pain and panic. I hope there's a spot to buy air herks.
That would be fantastic.
What villain do you want to see a ride from?
I don't know. There's because my first thought was Hook, but we already have
Oh.
Peter Pan, so like I don't know if that's even a possibility. So, I don't know.
It's going to be cool to have an area for villains. I hope that they walk around. I will say when I worked at Disney, I was at a resort And I would ask kids all the time, like, oh, did you meet all the characters you wanted to meet? Who did you meet today? And I would talk to them. And a lot of them were sad when they didn't meet villains. There were certain villains that they wanted. Really popular one, funny enough, was Pete.
Okay.
Like, the cat.
Yeah. I would like a magic carpet ride. But like Jafar.
Okay. That would also be lazy. That's the other one people have been asking for.
I know.
You have to escape the
Yeah.
What is it called? That's the tomb.
Um,
Why can't I think of the name of it? Cave of Wonders.
Cave of Wonders.
Yeah, they want people have been asking for that too.
Yeah.
So they could easily do both of those rides and they would be fantastic and people would be so happy, but like I would like low key call them like I would be like ecstatic and think that those rides were amazing, but a little part of me would be like, but you're lazy. You just listened to someone's podcast where they came up with rides. But hey, whatever helps. I hope that Disney got some ideas from us at some point when we did one of those episodes.
Yeah.
Like the Pirate Tavern. I'm sure Rick said that at some point.
Definitely did.
Okay, but that's it. That's all we got. That's all of the Disney Parks news that they announced for the U.S. and the West Coast. If we missed the U.S. and the West Coast, for the East and West Coast, if we missed any, let us know. Find us on social media at Spility Podcast on Instagram, Spility Pod on TikTok. Message us and tell us what we forgot.
Yeah. Before we go, favorite piece of news, thing you're most excited for, and thing that you think is going to be done the best.
Most excited for the Villains Land.
Okay.
I think that done the best is, I hate to say it, it's either going to be the Tropical Americas area or the Pirates Tavern.
Okay.
What about you?
Most excited for Pirates Tavern. What I think is going to be done the best. I either have to go Tropical Americas or Monsters Inc.
Oh, yeah. If that's done right, it's going to be real good. That one, as far as done best, I think is going to depend on the location. Yeah. Because it's going to be amazing no matter where they put it, but where they put it will make a difference in my brain at least. Yeah. Fair. So. And last thing that we have before we close out. As we mentioned, we are the official podcast of 407 and Beyond Vacation Co. And they are hiring right now. So if you're interested in becoming a travel agent, I did an episode with Bruce many, many moons ago where he answered all of the questions you might have about being a travel agent. And hopefully we'll be having one of those coming up as well. But if you're interested in applying, you can find the link to the website in our show notes. Click that and apply. If you have questions about becoming a travel agent before you apply, feel free to message us. We can get them answered for you. We might be able to answer them, or we'll reach out to whoever we need to get you the answer so that you can become a travel agent with 407 and Beyond Vacation Co., the best travel agents out there. Not biased. You're biased.
But, as Gina said, go follow us on social media. Go find us on the YouTube if you're not watching. But
that's it.
That's it. So until next time, we will
see you at the castle.